ABC7 News at 6.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis.
And I'm Jacqueline Matter. Thanks for joining us. The serious issue of dead fish from red tide has Manatee County officials now taking action.
County commissioners declaring a local state of emergency today. ABC7's Rick Adams joins us live from Bowlees Creek in Manatee County with more on the significance of this declaration. Rick?
Yeah, guys, good evening. There are a lot of dead fish here. This has become a little bit of a nightmare.
The smell is so bad, it's just rough to come home.
That's what Rico Antonelli, his wife, and 3 dogs have been dealing with recently at their home on Bowlees Creek in Manatee County. Tons of dead fish from the red tide in the creek is to blame. Help is on the way. On Tuesday, county officials have declared a local state of emergency.
That aligns Manatee County with the state declaration so that should federal funding or additional state funding be made available, we'll be in a position to quickly accept it.
This state of emergency deals with fish kill that is on beaches, canals, and the many waterways in Manatee County. Crews can now be paid overtime and more equipment can be purchased to help with the cleanup. 3 cleanup boats have been picking up the dead fish since Monday, which ends up in the Manatee County landfill.
It's a very labor-intensive operation. You can imagine it's a step-by-step process. Each canal, each waterfront that we face has different conditions and severity of fish, so it's difficult to predict how long we'll be in one particular location.
With this state of emergency declaration, the county says they will be increasing their manpower, focusing on the dead fish cleanup. Antonelli is happy to hear the county is beginning to tackle this aggressively.
They're on it. They're doing the best they can. I mean, if they didn't have a template for doing this at first, then they've got to create something so they can have it in place for the next time. So you can't, it's nobody's fault. It's a natural disaster.
And as of right now, this local state of emergency is in effect through August 28th. Reporting live from Manatee County this evening, I'm Rick Adams. Back to you.
Rick, thank you. An action plan in Venice to combat the red tide is coming together. That plan came out of a community meeting yesterday, and today the City Council already putting parts of it into motion. They've come up with a list of 6 things to tackle. First and foremost, the city manager is creating a plan to help Sarasota County with additional cleanup efforts. Mayor John Hollick is also writing a letter to Governor Scott asking the state to limit the amount of nitrogen, animal waste, and phosphorus released into all of our waterways, including Lake Okeechobee. The city will also be monitoring pollution that goes through its water treatment system, adding regulations for land development, and educating the public on fertilizer use throughout the city. And then finally, removing septic tanks in homes and businesses.
Can't continue to go on and wait for the next red tide outbreak 5 or 10 years from now and then start all over again. We have to tackle this when it's here, find a way to mitigate it. According to the experts yesterday, there isn't any way to eliminate it, but there may be ways to reduce it. So that's what we're going to be looking for.
Throughout the next month, City Council members will continue meeting and putting together the specifics on how to roll out each of these plans. They hope to implement them as soon as possible.
And for all of our latest coverage on the red tide outbreak and to get answers to your most frequently asked questions, head over to mysuncoast.com.
A lot of how we deal with the effects of red tide depends on the direction of the wind. So let's find out more on that with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob?
Yeah, and people are starting to complain a little bit further inland that they're smelling some of that decaying fish, and that continues to be an issue. We're going to see that west wind, I think, pick up over the upcoming days, at least stick around for a little while. Calm conditions out on the waters today. The wind's not all that strong as the high pressure ridge was pretty much parked right over the top of us. It is starting to slip down to the south now, and as it does so, it changes our winds around to a west-southwesterly direction. For the most part, we may have a little east wind during the early morning hours, but with this frontal boundary still moving to the southeast now, that front is going to continue to see that high pressure push down to the south of us. Right now, some heavier showers inland and along the east coast, and that will be the case as well. We'll have an occasional coastal shower or two and a thunderstorm during the morning hours, and even maybe an overnight storm as well near the coast, but most of the action well east of I-75, pushing basically to the east-northeast now. Not much going on close to land, even all the way up into Hillsborough County. One lone storm there west of I-75. You'll notice not a lot going on here. Once in a while a shower pops up or two here and there, so we'll keep a less than 20% chance for a passing shower through the next several hours near the coast. Back to you.
Bob, thanks. Sarasota family says a charging golf cart nearly killed everyone in their home last week. They realized something was wrong when their carbon monoxide monitor started sounding. Firefighters say there was a colorless, odorless, hydrogen-based gas floating through the air. The overcharged golf cart in the garage caused a potentially deadly hydrogen and sulfur dioxide-based gas to get into the home.
It scares you to death to think, what if we did not have those detectors? You know, it's just horrible.
The National Golf Cart Association recommends charging older golf carts outside, but if you do have to do it inside, make sure there's enough ventilation. If you hear your carbon monoxide detector go off, get out of your home immediately and call 911.
New at 6, Northport police looking for a couple accused of using fake money at a Goodwill. Take a look at these security camera photos from the Goodwill on Tamiami Trail. If you recognize those people on your screen, you're being asked to contact Northport Police.
Allegiant Airlines is now offering 4 new nonstop routes out of Punta Gorda Airport. The new seasonal routes include Omaha, Nebraska, beginning November 14th, Syracuse, New York, beginning the next day, Appleton, Wisconsin on November 16th, and then Albany, New York, starting December 13th. The new routes will operate 2 to 3 times a week. Still to come in your Suncoast News, why the Sarasota City Manager is under some pressure to release hundreds of emails.
Plus, new numbers from FEMA show that people are still recovering from Hurricane Irma nearly a year after that storm.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Get more for your money during the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Sunset Subaru. Subaru vehicles hold their value better than any other brand for 2018, according to ALG, and Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand for 4 years running. The Subaru Outback is an IIHS top safety pick for 10 years running. Lease a new Subaru Outback today for just $249 a month, or get 0% financing with 0 down. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
When you are home alone, an emergency can become a tragedy. However, with any of Life Alert's 3 emergency systems, help can be summoned immediately, whether in the bathroom,
I've fallen in the shower.
at home,
Help! I've fallen and I can't get up.
and on the go.
Help! I've fallen in the park and I can't get up.
Don't worry, help is on the way.
Life Alert saves a life every 11 minutes.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-518-0221. That's 1-800-518-0221. Call now, 1-800-518-0221. For a free brochure, call 1-800-518-0221.
Tonight, Sarasota City Manager is under pressure to produce 6 years of emails sent to and from a private account.
A former candidate for city commission is challenging Tom Barwin after obtaining more than 600 city-related messages to and from Barwin's Gmail account. ABC 7's Taylor Torregano is live at City Hall now with more details on a deal. Taylor?
Good evening, Jacqueline, Scott. Things got pretty heated here last night. Former candidate for City Commission, Martin Hyde, has been very vocal in his criticisms for the city manager. Yesterday, he demanded to see Tom Barwin's emails and accused him of violating the state's sunshine law. Martin Hyde striking a deal.
If he's found to be telling the truth and he's handed everything over, I'll not only not go to City Hall again while he's the city manager, I'll never run for City Commission while he's the city manager. Quid pro quo, if he hasn't handed over everything, then he resigns. I don't expect him to take the bet.
Hyde issued the challenge in Monday night's city council meeting after finding out city manager Tom Barwin was, in fact, sending and receiving messages from his private Gmail account.
He'd always sworn up and down in 2013 and in 2016 that he'd never done that. So we made the request on June the 26th, got the stuff back at the start of August, and we weren't talking about a half a dozen emails, we're talking about north of 600.
Hyde says these emails were only from a 2-year span and thinks there are many more since Barwin was appointed in 2012. So he put in another public records request, this time for all of them.
Because I don't think he suddenly picked up and decided to break sunshine. I don't think he ever followed it himself. He's been a strong opponent of sunshine, of government in the open, and anybody that wants to hide something, there's always a reason.
But Barwin claims the exact opposite, saying he has nothing to hide. He declined to respond on camera, but said in a statement, quote, "To demonstrate my commitment to full compliance with the pending records request and the public records law, I have already started the rather time-consuming process of searching through nearly 6 years of emails on my private computer to identify any documents that might constitute public records under Florida law." Now, Barwin did admit to inadvertently sending emails from a private account, but also added that the vast majority of these emails were also transmitted to official City of Sarasota email addresses. I'm live at City Hall. Taylor Torregano, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Taylor, thank you so much. Well, we've been talking about seems like too long now, about red tide.
And let's hope we don't talk about it much longer either. Yeah. I mean, as I said yesterday, 1878, it lasted nearly 10 years from the history there. I don't think it's going to last that long, but there are stretches where large red tide outbreaks have lasted for a couple of years, 18 months, so on and so forth. So keep our fingers crossed and hoping for a pretty big wind. I don't know if that's going to do the trick for sure, but it would help. But Venice, by the way, a person who takes the measurements down there, reporting 4 million cells per liter. That's just off the charts. I haven't seen that. That was just today. So I had a chance to get out and do a little cleaning myself, helped out at the Plymouth Harbor. That by there behind me, we're dragging away from Plymouth Harbor, and the harbor right there, about 100-pound tarpon. That's right, 100-pound tarpon, 100-pound tarpon. Filled up many bags of dead fish as we scooped them up all throughout that region, and a lot of folks are starting to do this now and kind of lending a hand, trying to get that smell out of here. It's going to take a long time, though, to get it all out of here. Let's go to the maps to show you what's happening right now. Lakewood Ranch webcam showing a few fair weather cumulus clouds. A shower goes by right there, and then not much else out there. We have some storms well inland, and that's a result of this again, this front that continues to hang out just to the north of us now. And it's really, really weird to see a cold front this far south, all the way down into the Panhandle of Florida. It's right about there, stretching up just southeast of Atlanta now, and then through the Carolinas. A low pressure area, a pretty strong one driving through Ohio, is driving this front. It's not going to make it all the way through here. That would be a nice break, wouldn't it? But we're going to stay hot, and this high pressure ridge will slip down even further south throughout the day tomorrow. So showers and storms will focus in the middle this time of day and also along the East Coast. It's already starting to see that. We're already starting to see a little bit of that action take place. So no typical afternoon and evening storms when we see those storms march in from central Florida toward the West Coast until we get to Saturday. goes right back into a typical afternoon and evening thunderstorm pattern by this weekend. Right now, nothing to show you on the radar from Parrish southward to Englewood. Mayaca City, you're quiet now. Had some storms nearby earlier. There's a chance we could see a few late night showers and storms develop, but that chance is very small, at 20% only. And then there's a chance, very small as well, for just after sunrise, 1 or 2 showers to roll in from the Gulf of Mexico and head off to the east. Temperatures will stay warm in this kind of pattern too, even at 11 o'clock, 82 degrees, but with a west wind, it will feel a little bit warmer than that. Not so much tonight, but more so tomorrow night and on into Thursday night. Moisture content, not extremely moist, but not extremely dry. That dry air to the north of us right now. You can see that over parts of Mississippi and Louisiana behind that front. This model a little overdone again, but still showing some showers possible this evening. We are going to see 1 or 2 lone storms, and then we'll watch this area out here in the Gulf of Mexico. 1 or 2 storms popping up here, indicating some pretty big action, but I don't think it'll be quite that big. We'll see it moving onshore, 1 or 2 lone showers during the morning, and then inland storms in the afternoon. That chance very small. Very small chance of anything developing over the next 5 days. In fact, 0 chance really. Nothing out there. It's all quiet in the Atlantic. Different story in the Pacific. The Pacific has been getting a lot of storms lately, and this one, unfortunately, heading right for Hawaii. It's a Category 4 storm, 155-mile-an-hour winds. It's going to make a bend to the north and could pose a significant impact on Hawaii. It won't be a 4. Won't even be a 3, but it could be a Category 2 hurricane as it moves on in. This is a hostile environment. When you see the blue, that means no chance of any development there. That's going to stay that way too. Look how it expands through the Bahamas, through the Caribbean, and even in the eastern Gulf of Mexico, hostile environment, and even out in the Atlantic it stays that way. So that's the reason why no threat for any tropical development anytime soon. The forecast tomorrow, a high of 90 with a heat index up near about 100 to 103 in the afternoon. Currently, it feels like 98 out there. We have some high clouds left over from some storms inland, 88 degrees right now. The high today was 1 degree above average at 91. 74 was right at the average for a low. Well, there's the low pressure driving that storm system. It brought a lot of rain yesterday into the upper Mississippi Valley. Today over Michigan and into New York and also Canada. Toronto getting some pretty heavy showers there. A severe thunderstorm watch in effect for the nation's capital, West Virginia, and parts of Pennsylvania out west. This is a problem with air quality throughout that region. Temperatures for highs tomorrow pretty cool across the Great Lakes. Toronto a high of 71 tomorrow. For boaters, seas staying less than 2 feet really. South winds will turn to the west in the afternoon. The 7-day forecast then 20% chance for a shower tomorrow scattered by. I told you the timing. Timing still stays with morning coastal showers on Thursday and Friday. We get back to those afternoon and evening storms. A little bit more moisture coming back into play too over the weekend. Back to you.
Thank you, Bob. New numbers released today by FEMA show just how bad Hurricane Irma affected Florida. As of this month, more than $3 billion in disaster assistance has been paid out to small businesses and homeowners. Nearly 4,000 Floridians lost work because of the storm, to which $9 million have been paid out to. And then more than 300 families were approved to live in temporary travel trailers and homes, and about half of those families are now back in permanent homes.
Numerous former state lawmakers and members of Congress have announced a campaign to oppose all 8 proposed constitutional amendments placed on the November ballot by the Florida Constitution Revision Commission. During a news conference at the state capitol today, members of the Save My Constitution Coalition criticized the CRC process, telling voters to vote no on proposed amendments 6 through 13. The group says all those amendments either group controversial topics like charter schools with popular ideas like term limits into a single amendment, or they deal with issues that the legislature can address, like ending greyhound racing.
Because the CRC has been deceptive and their proposals are indeed defective, we must tell the people of Florida that in order to be safe, it is best that we vote no on all of those amendments.
In total, 13 proposed amendments were placed on the November ballot. Each amendment would require support from at least 60% of voters to be enacted.
If the Democratic nominee goes on to win in November for governor, Floridians could elect the state's first woman or black governor, or only the second Jewish governor since Florida became a state in 1845. Former Congresswoman Gwen Graham has used her gender as a selling point to voters, especially on issues like abortion rights and sexual harassment. Tallahassee Mayor Andrew Gillum doesn't make race an issue as part of his campaign, but acknowledges it would be big if he were elected the state's first black governor. Former Miami Beach Mayor Philip Levine and billionaire Jeff Green would join David Schlott as Florida's only Jewish governors should they win. Stay with us.
When we come back, we have an update on an ice cream truck ban in the city of Sarasota.
Tonight, after the president unleashed his most personal attack yet on Robert Mueller, what the Paul Manafort verdict could mean for the Russia investigation, the Oval Office, and the special counsel. World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Ready to open up new opportunities as an electrician? Don't do it yourself. Team up with Mr. Sparky instead. We're locally owned and looking for people like you. We offer our electricians great perks that you just won't get going it alone. And whether you're an apprentice, a master electrician, or somewhere in between, we have a spot for you.
Best decision I ever made.
Apply online or call today.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
You are like no other. So why should your choices be ordinary? Ghibli, the absolute opposite of ordinary.
Experience it at Sunset Maserati, Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP is the largest locally owned CPAP supply company in the area. Is it time to replace your old equipment? The staff at Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP can show you the most up-to-date CPAP equipment and supplies to meet your sleep apnea needs, including portable travel devices and the SoClean automatic CPAP sanitizer. We serve all of Southwest Florida, giving the highest quality of care with the finest CPAP equipment. Please visit our website, sarasotacpap.com.
If you think it's hot outside, just wait until you see even hotter savings inside. Only at Rugs As Art Hot Summer Savings Sale event will you find the lowest prices on a vast selection of stunning rugs, furniture accents, and accessories. This special event only happens once a year, so hurry in before the best selections are gone. The Hot Summer Savings event ends soon, so don't miss out on the best prices ever. Rugs As Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Army National Guard soldiers serve to give back to their country and their community. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for benefits such as health and life insurance, education benefits, and retirement and VA home loan benefits. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Ice cream trucks are no longer getting the cold shoulder in the city of Sarasota. After almost 2 decades, ice cream truck drivers will legally be allowed to sell in the city. Last night, city commissioners passed an ordinance to lift that ban. Good way to cool off in this heat.
Yeah. Welcome news to a lot of kids when they hear that sound of the truck.
Those are my favorite.
Yeah, I always remember it and I never forget it. We are looking at the nice evening tonight, albeit warm at times, so not bad for some ice cream after dinner. Maybe that's a nice
there you go.
suggestion.
Man, I can't. I'm going to have to get some now.
Yeah.
Just thinking
Now
about
it's
it.
on all of our minds.
World News Tonight with David Muir is coming up next.
We'll see you again at 7 and 11. Have a good night.